Super wine girl Angela Aiello is back on Morning Live talking about Argentina's wine scene. Good morning, good to see you. We're actually getting to you late. We wanted you on yesterday to know what to pair with the election coverage.
Yeah, wine is a good choice, isn't it?
Yeah. So how are you doing the morning after?
Oh, great. I mean, high altitude wines. That's what we're talking about today. We're headed to Argentina, just at the foothills of the Andes Mountains. I mean, Argentina is positioned well for organic wine. So today we're talking about, I've got 8 wines in front of me. So screenshot and take a look at the wines here today because these wines are organic, vegan, they're on sale and sustainable, all from Argentina. They actually make the perfect match with your Thanksgiving dinners and to stock up for the holidays.
So Argentina is interesting, and we saw a beautiful vista scene there. There's a lot of different microclimates going on in Argentina, isn't there? What makes it so special? It's quite famous.
Well, you have the snow-capped Andes Mountains, and you have this pure snow melt water that really helps fuel the grapes. And so over 400 years of winemaking, you have these distinctive wines. And I think everyone knows Argentina from Malbec. And I like to encourage people to keep trying Malbec from different areas, different regions, different producers, because it is like Pinot Noir, where it is incredibly different based on where it's grown, how it's grown, the vintage, the producer. And so Malbec is not sort of a one-dimensional wine. It is something you do have to keep exploring.
Okay, so let's get back to the selection in front of you and some of your favorite picks.
Absolutely. Okay, so we do have 3 vegan wines here that are Malbec. And so we've got the Kaikin here, which is vegan and hand harvested from Aurelio Montes Jr. He's one of the sort of iconic winemakers down in South America, a wonderful Malbec. And then we also have this very interesting wine. It's the Paso Doblo. So it's actually an Italian, you might know them from an Italian wines that they make, but this is a Malbec done with some dried Corvina grapes. So a little bit more of a savory characteristic, a wonderful flavor to it. I love that this wine is here. I love that it's vegan, it's organic. It's 9 months in oak, delicious.
And how do they compare price-wise?
So, I mean, all of these wines are about $14, $15, but they're all on sale for $2 or save $2.50 over the next little while. So you can pick up, it's almost like a buy one, get one free when you're buying a case of wine. So great deals out there. So, the Domaine Bousquet Malbec as well. It's 4,000 feet above sea level. It's the world's most organic, most awarded organic winery. And so really the fruit is very pure. And that's what the taste profile from Argentina from these high elevation wines. They're distinctive. I mean, Argentina is well positioned for organic viticulture and certifications of vineyards are on the rise. And so vegan and organic wines are really sort of like on trend right now. And maybe you're wondering, what is a vegan wine? Yeah. I don't know if we've talked
Angela
about that.
Aiello, what is a vegan wine?
I mean, I think everybody says, aren't all wines vegan? Yes, they're all made from fruit. But historically, wines have been fined or filtered with animal products like eggs, let's say, or fish ingredients. But now people are sort of transitioning that process into using plant-based products like pea protein or even clay bentonite, let's say. And that just helps keep the wine clear. In the olden days, wine was a little bit dirty, and that trend is actually coming back a little bit more. So,
are there any regions that compare, like the high altitude regions that compete with Argentina, or is it quite unique?
It is very unique in its high altitude, actually. So it is one of the regions, if not the region, for high altitude wines. And so, you think about mountain wines, you think of vines grown on a mountain, you think of luminosity, you think of that access to sunshine, you think of that access to pure mountain water. I mean, it is very, very cool. You have, a dry continental climate. Look at the cactuses in this photo. I love that there's cacti growing in the vineyards,
Yeah.
So
now,
there's
has
really
the region been impacted by climate change?
Actually, it's so funny because the more winemakers I talk to about climate change, the more winemakers want to get their grapes or vineyards grown on high altitude wines. So Argentina is well positioned for that as well. It is a very diverse climate. I mean, it is a bit of a desert down there as well. Yeah. Super unique. So, and the Andes Mountain is the longest continental range in the world. So making the wines from there very unique. In fact, even the Pinot Grigio here, I mean, if you love to just sit down, it is still summer. Yes. For one more day. But this Piedra Negra is a Pinot Grigio that's really lovely, organic. It's a 90-point wine. It spent some time on lees, so there's complexity to it. 20-year-old vines, really quite lovely. And even on the back of the label, you're going to find way more information coming to us about wine. So I always encourage people, flip over, spend some time either doing research before you're buying the wine, or watching these shows, heading to my Instagram, or even just taking a look at the back of the wine. But more and more, you're seeing wines with more information on them for us. So
Yeah, and your
mhm.
website and all your socials is a great resource for these wines and many others. Good to see you again, Angela Aiello, super wine girl.